Hello guys, today we'll talk about the internet and gaming. How internet basically revolutionized gaming for the better and for the worst. So, gaming internet and the gaming has basically been changed. Back in the day, people were allowed to be toxic, but now there's so many rules of what you can't say in online chat lobbies or else you get banned. I do feel like it's a bad thing that they did this in my own personal opinion because I think giving people, I think a lot of people actually found that fun, and really they were just finding it fun. For example, Call of Duty chat lobbies, but you can't really have chat lobbies like that anymore. And most of these people usually just get banned from basically every game. So yeah, same thing with hackers and trolls. But now we talk about a phenomenon that has been started since 2014. As we all know, there is a trend among games. Indie games used to be among the nerd part of the gaming community. They were popular, but most of the people who bought them were basically people who loved platformers, people who loved a certain type of game and were sick of the AAA games not really delivering on what they wanted. Basically, the AAA gaming industry, some people were like, yeah, I want to go back to nostalgia. And indie games basically fed into the nostalgia '90s kids, basically craving for something they liked when they were kids. For example, a lot of indie games were 2D sprite based games that were that were dissimilar to games like Super Mario World of the past. Games that people had a soft spot for, and these people loved these new types of games like Shovel Knight and stuff. But then 2014 came around. Five Nights at Freddy's became popular. This is when indie games really hit the mainstream. Before Markiplier made this video, nobody knew what Five Nights at Freddy's was. It actually existed for a couple months before Markiplier made a video about it. But the game really became popular because YouTube made a video about it that had a large influence and still has a large influence throughout YouTube today. So basically, the success of one game has to do with YouTube. The success of one game really is because of YouTube. Five Nights at Freddy's basically became a global sensation. It was a game that became popular because of YouTube. And then Undertale came out. No, people thought, people probably would have thought it would have been dust restricted to, horror games and stuff. Or really, stuff like Roblox. Stuff that is basically made for, like, younger audiences or basically who are attracted to that kind of stuff. But the game Undertale really became popular because of the internet. I don't think I think if Undertale released in the '90s, it would have just become just as obscure as Earthbound. For example, if Earthbound and Undertale swap places, everybody would be talking about how great Ness is, and of course there'll be people complain about Undertale and how Earthbound and how overrated it is. And I'm so sick of seeing Ness and Lucas everywhere, and Porky Mints everywhere, and all the Earthbound cast everywhere, because people liked watching videos on it on YouTube. So, and I think Undertale became successful because of YouTube. People said, and also the critics are saying how great the game was. But then we had stuff like Bendy, we had Tattletale, whatever the hell that game. Yeah, remember Tattletale? Yeah, no one played that. But yeah, Bendy became extremely popular. And then there weren't really many games. Some games came out, but they couldn't really put onto the stretch of the FNAF community. They couldn't really be the stretchiest of like FNAF. But then a certain battle royale game came out called Fortnite. Before Fortnite became a global sensation, Epic Games was an indie company. They were a company that was an independent indie company. So and if you were, oh yeah, people say, but you forgot about the most important. If you're talking about Fortnite being in the game, then what about Minecraft? Okay, we'll go back to the beginning. In 2011, the first really indie viral sensation was Minecraft. Minecraft basically was the first extremely popular indie game. And of course, there was a whole subgenre of YouTube videos that is now even popular to this day called Minecraft YouTubers. Of course, Minecraft is still popular to this day, especially among Gen Z and millennials. Minecraft was the first indie global phenomenon. Everybody and the dog and cat talked about Minecraft. Everybody talked about Minecraft. Craft. And Minecraft became an extremely popular game. Now let's go back to 2017 to 2018. 2017 to 2018, the indie game Fortnite, which started out as a simple zombie like game where you basically had to save the world, basically turned into this game that literally everybody and the dog was talking about. Everybody and the dog and cat was talking about Fortnite. Where if you went to school during the era of Fortnite, people wouldn't stop talking about how great Fortnite was. And basically, Fortnite killed the entire idea of the most overrated game of all time. As well. Also, if you really want to talk about indie games, you can also talk about Angry Birds as well. But we'll talk about, we're not going to think about every single indie game. But yeah, Angry Birds also came out, and that was really popular as well. And that was also made by an indie studio as well. But yeah, the game Fortnite came out, and it was basically Minecraft 2.0. Everybody in the cat was talking about. FNAF was really popular, mostly because of Markiplier and game theory. But the difference between Five Nights at Freddy's, Minecraft, and Fortnite is that Fortnite, you didn't have to pay for Fortnite. That started the next revolution in the games. You didn't have to pay to play the game. You just got to play the game. Of course, they said, you know what? If you don't have to pay to play the game, okay, put microtransactions in the game and put skins and stuff in the game. But a lot of the stuff that is now being implemented in modern games, for example, a battle pass, which is now being implemented in games like Overwatch 2, Fall Guys, which is the game that's currently I'm playing right now, and Marvel's Multiverses and Call of Duty, and many other modern games, is because of Fortnite. And also because of the decline of popularity of loot boxes because of the Belgian and Netherlands government, and the Dutch government, and the Belgian government. They're saying no more loot boxes. Stop putting loot boxes in your game, or else your games are banned. And basically loot boxes disappeared forever. In replace of the battle pass, which basically means if you play the game, you get more stuff. Basically kept a better incentive of playing the game than, you get random stuff if you pay money or if you play the game. This also similar thing also happens in board games with a daily login thing. If you log into a game daily on a mobile platform, you get extra prizes and extra things compared to someone who plays weekly or monthly. Basically trying to incentivize people into playing the game every day, checking out on the new events in the game. Game. Basically, this whole new model of games basically did this. But then, indie games didn't really have many popular games. You had games that appeared every now and then, but then 2020 came around. Two games basically started a war with each other. One game would come out and one game would die. Also, another game with a boy and a girl that sing also came out around this time and became really popular. 3 games appeared around 2020. All 3 games would become extremely popular, and one of them would be extremely hated among everybody. The first game that became popular is Fall Guys. Fall Guys became really popular, but the reason why Fall Guys died was simply because you had to pay for the game. Simply having to pay for the game was the reason why Fall Guys died. And another game became very popular, Among Us. Among Us was another indie game created by Rocket Soft. I think that's the company name. But yeah, Among Us became extremely popular. Among Us still is a part of the me is still even though Among Us is considered a dead game by many people, Among Us is still used a lot around meme culture and memes. Among Us memes are still relevant today, are still a bit relevant today as they were 2 years ago. Yo, you don't see people posting random things about Sans and Undertale still, but you still see people posting stuff about Minecraft and Fortnite and Among Us. And some people posting people screwing up in Fall Guys, which is pretty hilarious to see people screwing up in Fall Guys. That's the most hilarious thing in the world. To watch people, playing the game completely incorrectly. Yeah, we won. All you have to do is follow everybody else. I have to find out. Oh, yeah. It's gonna get more complicated. But yeah, the both get Among Us became extremely popular. But even then, one game must die. And the game that died was Fall Guys. Fall Guys, of course, would resurge in popularity because, of course, they said, you know what, we're going to finally make the game free to play and not walk behind the walls of PlayStation, which means the game was accessible to more people. Bull. Bull. And then Friday Night Funkin' became popular. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, who knows how Friday Night Funkin' became popular, but it was a game that a lot of people hate and a lot of people love. And a lot of the game music community really despises Friday Night Funkin' because, of course, it's not real music. Kind of like the same people who complain if you listen to a certain type of music, it's not real music. But yeah, in 2022, you really haven't had any indie games have spontaneous breakout successes. Sis. The only thing you really had was a resurgence of Fall Guys and Warner Bros. Multiverses come out. But again, Warner Bros. Multiverses relied on on the Warner Bros. Brand to really become a popular game. Even though that game is technically an indie game, because it's made by the indie studio, it was still made. It was still made by Warner Bros. Studios, which makes the game made by a major studios. Because Warner Bros. Does have a major game studio as well. Well, and also talking about that small indie company, Epic Games. Well, they also own the Fall Guys game because they bought the studio who made Fall Guys. It's yeah. I think the next indie game that becomes very popular is gonna come soon. The reason why we had 3 new indie breakout games during the pandemic, I think, is because of the pandemic. People were looking for ways to have fun during these hard times. And that's why Fall Guys, Among Us, and Friday Night Funkin' basically exploded in popularity. You may hate all 3 of those games if you really want to, but those games provide a lot of happiness to people during the pandemic. People could get together and create communities with these games and basically form new bonds in these games. Basically, games like Among Us allowed friends to play together. Oh, we're playing the infamous Hexagon for the first time. We're playing the most infamous game multiplayer mode of all time. But yeah, basically, indie games have basically, and the internet have basically changed the gaming industry forever. And that's the story of indie games. Of course, we could still mention games like Angry Birds, another indie game that became really popular on mobile devices. Says, 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 yeah, we're gonna lose this one. I get the whole floor to myself. Man, I'm gonna lose this. I never played this one before. I never played this game, Hexagon, before. I'm gonna attempt to cut this guy off. Oh, I lost. I got pretty far though. Yeah, these are the people who have played Hexagon for a long while. And yeah, I think in the future we're going to have more inevitable indie breakouts. It is gonna happen. Which, as much as I don't like a lot of these quote unquote indie games like Five Nights at Freddy's and Fortnite, especially games like Roblox. We don't even have to mention whatever the fuck Roblox is, but yeah. I think indie breakouts are going to continue happening. Because a lot of people actually, because unlike in the movie industry, where it's basically everything revolves around the big franchise, unlike the big franchise movies of Hollywood, gaming is a lot more lenient. And of course, because there's a lot more YouTubers basically saying, hey, play this game. And it's much more easy to say, oh yeah, go to the theaters and watch this indie movie. It's really great. You're not going to convince multiple people, but hey, oh wait, this is a cool new game I can play with my friends. Okay, I'll play it. Or there's a cool new game with cool new war. Okay, I'll play. I'll get this game. Or there's a game that's fun to play. Okay, I'll get it. And that's basically why indie games have become Why indie games have become sort of the most popular games in the entirety of modern culture. Games that define the gaming industry now, or are part of the history of gaming. Angry Birds, Minecraft, Fortnite, and FNF, and Five Nights at Freddy's, and Among Us are all among them. And of course, Undertale, which won numerous awards as well. And of course, games like Cuphead, which also won numerous awards. And also, games don't have to just be just games that are designed for the masses. Games like Cuphead and games like Undertale. But there's a downside to most of these games. With big power and big popularity comes a bad fan base. Every major IP has a bad fan base, with several many exceptions. But most of these games have developed big fan bases and very bad hate bases and fan bases around them. For example, one of the most infamous gaming communities is FNF and Fortnite. A lot of people hate the Fortnite community, and a lot of people hate the FNF community. I think there are, and of course, I could go over why these communities are so hated. One is the presence of kids. A lot of people hate kids getting into the community that they love so much, which Fortnite is excelling at. At Fortnite has a lot of kids playing the game. game, which just like Call of Duty has attracted a lot of people who hate Fortnite because a lot of kids play Fortnite. A lot of kids play the game Fortnite. So a lot of kids play Fortnite, and a lot of people hate Fortnite because kids play Fortnite. I think it's just a foregone conclusion that a lot of people hate Fortnite because kids play Fortnite. And also the Fortnite community has basically turned to the Call of Duty community 2.0. Where basically if you don't play Fortnite, you're a loser. Well, you don't have this proposition. If you play Fortnite, you're a fucking loser. If you call people fucking losers for not playing your game, then you're a fucking loser. Same thing with the Call of Duty community in the past. Again, if you like Fortnite, you shouldn't be ashamed of liking it. But of course, you have the community to thank for the hatred, the immense hatred of Fortnite, which also is because of the immense popularity of something. Same thing with FNAF. A lot of people hate the Five Nights at Freddy's games, simply because they were popular. I don't think anybody really talks about Five Nights at Freddy's anymore. Maybe except for when Security Breach, whatever that game was called, came out. But really, besides that, FNAF hasn't really been relevant in the public conscience. Besides Security Breach coming out. And the same thing can be said of games like Bendy and the Ink Machine. Games like Cuphead, which had a resurgence when Cuphead DLC, The Last Course, came out. All games eventually die. Of course, the community who loves that game still remembers it and still constantly talks about it and still forms a community. But of course, most of the casual people typically move on from the game because it's just something that they played in the past. They may have liked the game, but it's still a part of their past. I think this can be said for most of these games. I think Cuphead will still be discussed by most of the bigger gaming community for decades. Same thing with Undertale. But I don't think the same can be said of Fortnite. I think once the next big viral game comes out, Fortnite, I think, as a game is finished. Much like Call of Duty came around. Call of Duty came around the early 2010s. Early 2010s to the late 2000s. But Call of Duty fandom basically vanished around 2015 to 2017, which created a void where Call of Duty wasn't the most hated game. And people will say, oh yeah, it's Friday Night Funkin'. But every time a game that replaces Fortnite, I think something will come very soon that will be as hated as Fortnite. But it will be everywhere just like Fortnite. And I thought that Valorant was gonna be that type of game, but again, Valorant doesn't. I don't really think Valorant really has that much of a toxic fan base. Most of Valorant's fan base consists of streamers who are paid to play the game. I'm sorry for anyone who actually likes Valorant, but I think that's the entire truth about Valorant. Most people who like the game simply for, because of being paid to play it. I know there are probably people who do like Valorant, but yeah, I think most people who like Valorant like it just because Riot Games paid them to play it. It's paying them to play it. And I bet Riot Games probably pays a lot of good money for people to promote the game. Well, that's probably why the game probably has a big player base, according to Twitch. Again, Twitch is not the most accurate of numbers, because according to Twitch, nobody plays TF2 anymore. But according to Steam, around 100,000 people play TF2. So I don't know who you can trust, Steam or Twitch, about that one. But yeah, even a game like TF2, a game that is like really old, can still pull in 100,000 players. Yes, daily. Well, it shows that some games, maybe in the community, maybe around forever, as long as humanity is still around. So you'll never really see a death of Minecraft, because there will still be people playing it casually, even if the internet collectively starts forgetting it. There'll still be people playing Minecraft casually. Same thing with even games that you might not even think that might be popular. For example, single-player games. If you really think about it. Single-player games, you might call them dead, but there's still a lot of people who play Skyrim daily, who love the game and its characters. and messing around with the game, putting mods in the game. Garry's Mod is another game. It really shows that no game is really truly dead except for Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. No one plays that game anymore. I think there's a good reason why no one plays that game anymore. But yeah, basically, no game is truly dead except for Nickelodeon All Stars Brawl. No one plays that game, obviously. And Bubsy 3D. No one in their right mind is going to be playing Bubsy 3D outside of making a YouTube video about why Bubsy 3D sucks. Say if it was Superman 64, no one's going to be playing Superman 64 anytime soon. But yeah, every game has a dedicated and passionate fan base to it, and to its characters. So that's basically about this video. Goodbye.